Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squared for boxing news and views from around the internet. Deontay Wilder returns to the ring, so he grabs just his second win for the decade, defeating Tyrrell Herndon in 7 rounds. This was his comeback fight. He'd been out of the ring for a year. And Deontay Wilder was also in this fight in the unusual position where he had to make the fight. So often we've seen fighters trying to put it to Deontay Wilder, trying to crack the code, trying to come forward, trying to make him work, while Deontay Wilder sort of sits back and looks for, a shot that would end the night. Not so here, because Tyrrell Herndon, who had seen the Joseph Parker fight at the end of 2023, said he wanted to fight like Parker and use that strategy. He was able to employ a little bit of the defensive side, but just not the offense. So Deontay Wilder, at times I thought this is a pretty gentle spar. There's basically nothing coming back at him. He's being made to sort of force the action, try to break Herndon down, try to actually land something of note, trying to crack the code of what was Herndon. And ultimately, he started to make some inroads. First sort of 3 rounds or so, relatively uneventful. Deontay Wilder having a good look, especially in the first round, third round as well. There was a bit of a flash knockdown in the second round where, on the rare occasion, Herndon wanted to actually do something. He was starting to throw a shot. Deontay Wilder caught him with a check left hook. Nothing huge, but he was off balance, Herndon, and he went down. But you could see that Herndon was starting to feel the pace because he was the one trying to box and move. He was slipping some punches and looking decent defensively at times, but it was taking a lot out of him. And round after round, he was really slowing down. And although there was nothing super clean coming from Deontay Wilder, he was having success with the jab. He was sort of landing some cuffing shots, both to body and head. We were able to see some of what Deontay Wilder can do. There was the odd left hook, the odd hook to the body, also the odd uppercut. But Deontay Wilder, you could see, he could sense that Herndon was starting to break down. A couple of times, there were flurries where he was really trying to put it on Herndon, especially towards the end of, round, I think, 6? Was it round 4, maybe? Anyway, a couple of occasions where that happened. And actually, he was unloading in round 6 on Herndon, who basically didn't catch anything clean, but the weight of the punches, he started to sag into the ropes and put a hand on the deck. So second knockdown for the fight. Ultimately, the body language was terrible in that final round from Herndon, and you could sort of see this was going one way. Couple of big shots landed, probably amongst the cleanest of the fight, because you could see them visibly backing Herndon up. Referee had sort of seen enough. He had said earlier in that round, or possibly also in round 6, you got to show me something, because he was starting to, the tank was going to E. He was seemingly wilting in front of our eyes, and the body language wasn't great. So maybe a little bit premature in some people's minds, but it did look like, as the commentators noted, that he was looking for a way out. So all in all, for Deontay Wilder, it's a win and a confidence builder. And a couple of comments here and then a few thoughts, because I know that there will be some of the diehard Wilder fans who say he's back, he's ready to make a run, but I'm just not so sure. 39 years old, and also, he didn't look dynamic in there. But he said after the fight, a couple of things I'd note there, because he's with new trainer Don House, will be getting better and better, and he noted mentally, physically, and emotionally that he's back together. And the lead up to the fight, there had been some comments around, mental health maybe not being as great as it could have been at different points in the past 12 months or so. And also he'd noted with the injuries as well that had taken a toll on him physically. So he needed the surgery on the shoulder. He needed some time to recover. But what we saw in there, so I guess you'll probably have some firm views as well. I wasn't that impressed. It just, at points, looked pretty ho-hum. It was only ever a few seconds away from devolving into Windmill Wilder, which we did see at times. But Deontay Wilder tried to show some of his wares, but because he had a guy in front of him who was negative, it didn't necessarily help. But he was the one making the fight, and it was at a pretty pedestrian fight. And even though the commentators at the end said Deontay Wilder looked fresh, I actually thought, some of the activity, some of the shots he was unloading in round 6, he started to look a little bit tired to me, especially in that 7th round. So, maybe the conditioning, you can sort of say he's been inactive for a year. He has been historically, in the last few years, pretty inactive in general. So perhaps, a few more fights and fighting a bit more frequently, getting the maybe some road work in and the consistency with back in the ring, maybe his conditioning will come back as well. But overall, he just doesn't look like he's the same guy. Someone noted at the start of that fight, one of the commentators, was it going to be the old Deontay Wilder? And I was thinking, or is it going to be the old Deontay Wilder? And this does look like a pared back version of Wilder, and not in a good way, because doesn't have some of that same precision that he's had in the past, especially to deliver that right hand. And sure, Herndon was negative at times, but from about round 4 onwards, especially from round 5 onwards, he looked like he was a sitting target at times, and Deontay Wilder wasn't able to deliver the sort of shots or open them up in the way that he's opened guys up before. When you compare this fight to some of the best of Deontay Wilder, probably in the late 2010s, around that sort of 2018 to 2020 sort of period, this is sort of night and day. It's a different guy. He is older. He is not looking as polished. And they did say the potential for a fight with Anthony Joshua. And actually, to be honest, that's only one of the couple of fights that makes sense for him. But I think he needs another fight between now and then if he truly wants to make another run at a title or something. Because at the moment, I think he's there for the taking. This isn't a guy that I looked at and saw fighting and thought, he's back. It was underwhelming to some extent. Sure, it's a confidence builder for him, and he needed it. But also, as I noted in a recent video on Patreon, Deontay Wilder, the fact that they were having this fight suggested to me that they needed to know, this is his people, what did he have left? Because, had he got embarrassed or upset, or because of everything else that's gone on, and maybe they didn't really know, and they needed to see, did he have it? Did he have enough left to keep going? Because if he didn't perform well here, then maybe they would have sort of folded things up, and that would have been all she wrote. But I don't think Deontay Wilder himself, ahead of the fight, he'd said to Dan Rafael, never considered retirement. And I'd said in a video, and some people had said Wilder should retire, but I said his ego won't let him. His ego will continue to dictate he thinks he's one of the best few heavyweights in the world. He is not. He is a very beatable heavyweight at this point. And the fact his main weapon, he can't seem to pull the trigger and land it like he used to, it's going to make him a much more beatable fighter, as we've already seen. You had Joseph Parker and Zhang Jilei dealing with him relatively comfortably enough. He is not on that level anymore that he once was. So it makes sense, cash out fights or retire. But if he truly believes he's a top contender anymore, delusional, because he is not. And based on the strength of that performance, and you have some fanboys sort of saying, oh, he's back, he's going to, you'll see. And even Wilder said he'll be better and better. No, he'll get worse and worse from here. It doesn't, he's not going to, it's not going to be a old dog, new trick situation. Doesn't matter how many trainers and that, and he's on the, almost at the end of 40, he's going to be 40 soon. It's all downhill from here. That might seem like a scathing assessment, but that's just how it works. And he's never been a guy that could sort of slow down a little bit and rely on his skills, because they were never polished up to be good enough at world level. Power, sure, but if he can't deliver that power effectively, a much more beatable fighter. So what did you make of it? Let me know. Drop a comment, loud and often. Hit like, hit subscribe, follow me on Twitter, boxing_squared. I'm out.